Analyst is not a legally protected term. It's not like doctor. It's more like economist. You know, any asshole can start calling themselves one and fart out a vaguely plausible opinion on the current situation.
So I put on my economist hat. You say, that's a Snoopy hat, Aaron. Looks like he's even golfing. That is also the economist hat. So I put on my economist hat. And I did this several weeks ago. I just didn't make a formal video of it. This idea was thought of while I was meandering in my thoughts on the previous video. But it's an important one because I did some quick math, which I recreated here. And that is how young men should value an hour of their time. And it may not, when you're younger, you're in the thick of it. You don't know what's going on. You know how to make decisions. A decision or a choice may be in front of you, especially an economic one. Do I do A or do I do B? What's the best use of my time? And you're probably going to make if you're smart and you can set your dick aside for a second, you're probably going to make the wiser choice. But even I didn't realize it until I just accidentally, I'm old. My youth is all gone. But what you'll find out, you'll get a little bit older. You'll be in your later 20s. You say, man, I wasted all my time chasing those girls. Or, man, I wasted all that time in the nightclub. I wasted all my time on clothes. And all this time you wasted. And me and my buddy, we weren't even 30 yet. I said, man, I could have gotten like my PhD. And he was a contractor. He was a carpenter. He's like, I could have built 2 houses. His choice obviously being the better. If you have the choice, just so in case you young boys are wondering, again, an economic decision, should I become a carpenter who shows up on time and is sober and does the job right? Or should I get a PhD? You should become the carpenter. You'll make a lot more money and you won't have to worry about the cost of housing. Moving on, the point was we intuitively knew, even at the age of 30, just how much time we wasted pursuing girls. And so I forgot how it was. Somebody asked me, should I do this and that? And I said, well, wait a minute. I think he had a job. I think he wanted to know if he should work more. And what dawned on me is every young man faces the choice is, okay, I got to work. I don't make a lot per hour, right? There's not a tremendous opportunity cost of me not going to work because I only make $15 an hour. So logically, I should choose to go have fun, chase girls, et cetera, et cetera. But I said, no, wait a minute, though. If you decide not to work, your opportunity cost really isn't the $15 you would have earned, right? You're a young man. Let's just assume you're going to earn around $15 an hour. Might be more, might be less. I don't want all you actually. And California, actually, Aaron, there's taxes. Yes, I'm aware. Let's just say your average young man, 18 to 22, college age, right? You could bring in $15 an hour take home pay. We can change it if you'd like. And I said, okay, that's true. At that moment in time, you could go to the nightclub and stand a 0.0003% chance of getting laid. Or you could work several more hours. You could work a night shift, actually make 8 times $15 an hour, bring home significantly more money. But at the end of the day, is $15 really that great of an opportunity cost? And it is. It is. Because your opportunity cost with that money is not the current day value of that money. It's what you could have done with it otherwise. And a default opportunity cost that you could do, let's say you got an extra $100, right? You don't need it. A default, just do it. Don't think about thing you can do is toss it into the good old S&P 500 index, right? You just toss it in the index fund, mutual fund. You let it sit and then it will grow. We don't know for certain because that's the future, but historically speaking, you get around a 12.8% rate of return. I back out a handsome amount for inflation, so I put it at 8%. I say your investment will grow at 8%. Now, here's where this is the curveball, and this is really important for you boys. Yes, you boys do not get paid a lot. You don't have a lot of skills. You're young. I mean, 18 to 22, you're the least sought after demographic in all types of people and demographics in the United States. But the one thing you got is a future. You got time. And whereas you say, well, yeah, I got time. That's why I'm going to go chase girls because I'm only paid $15 an hour. You're not listening. You're hearing Jimmy, but you're not listening to Jimmy. You got, say, 20 years old. Was that 45 years until you retire? Which means blank slate default. No thinking. No thinking whatsoever. If you took your $15 and threw it in the S&P 500 instead of chasing girls into the S&P 500 and it grew for 45 years, that's your real opportunity cost. In other words, it's not the amount you're paid, it's what that paid amount would grow to if you just threw it away into some kind of investment. I should say throw away if you invested it. Consider this. Instead of, like my buddy the carpenter, if he didn't chase girls, he'd have a house built by himself. Maybe you have to buy the land, but built by himself by the time he was 30. Now, he'd have to pay for labor and materials. There has to be some incurred costs. I'm not saying he'd own the house outright, but he'd have damn well over 70% equity in that home. That's just the age of 30. You see what I'm saying here, boys? Now, this applies to girls too. Ladies, this applies to you, but you don't care about investments. You care about handbags and, oh, shit, and talk to the hand, and I'm a girl boss or whatever. Jen B goes to the city, blah, 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 and my boobies. That's what you're all concerned. Oh, my God, Kamala. Go travel, go to Coachella. I mean, you girls could have the same amount. But you got a future, and you got time for that investment to grow without any other added labor. And if you were to toss that $15, let's just say you worked one extra hour, and it grows until you retire at 65. And I'm going to say, you start at 20. I got it compounded right here. $15, 45 years. At an 8% interest rate. Adjusted for in today's dollars, that's $478. That means your time is not worth $15 an hour. In terms of your life, what you can do with it, your opportunity cost, 1 hour of your time, gentlemen, is worth $478. Ladies, too. Ladies, too. And when you realize that, each hour you have, when you're young, now when you get old, that number goes down because the power of compound interest, that goes down. But it shows you how critically important it is to value your time and invest it wisely. Now, I'm not saying don't go have fun. I'm not saying if your buddy say, hey, we're doing a road trip to Glacier National Park. Go have your fun, live your life. But man, if you look at the average budget of a young person today, you guys piss away so much time and money too on things that are completely worthless and just aren't worth it. That if you took the time to throw it into the S&P 500 or perhaps building your own house or whatever kind of investment you'd like. It is the difference between you having an adequate retirement program and being an old bankrupt boomer. Like, I'm on a fixed income. I need you young people to pay more. And when I did the math, I was like, holy cow. Not that I wasn't against you all investing young anyway, because I knew about the power of compound interest, but I never converted it to a per hour. And man, I don't know about you guys, but I wasted a lot of time chasing tail. I wasted a lot of times in the nightclubs, wasted a lot of time on dates where you're pulling the girl's tooth that you just don't, by the way, let the girl choose you, man. You don't have time to be negotiating or pulling teeth with girls. You just don't. But you throw in, you guys don't go to nightclubs as much. I'll grant you that. But sitting at home doing nothing, really, you're playing your video game. I love my video games, the old ones, not the new ones, because they're woke ass. All right. But if you got nothing going on a weekend, go work a shift. Hang on. Let's do a little bit more math. All right. So it's $478 times 8. Okay. That's $33,800 in today's money. Would you work one shift for $3,800? I sure the hell would. Hell, I'll do it now. I think I did the math right. 478 times 8. Yeah. So, because you're not saying, hey, Bob, do you want to come in for an hour? Usually, do you want to come in for a shift? And let's say your take home is $15 an hour. All right. And you're sitting there, it's Friday night, and all your bros are going, oh, the game. The game, bro. You and all the other needle dick friends wearing another man's jersey could go watch the game. And you can buy wings, bro. I'm not even going to factor in the amount you're going to waste on beer and shitty food at the local bar, bro. That's more of a boomer affair. I'll grant you that. But it's like, okay, is that worth $3,800 to you? That's a lot of money. I don't want you guys going the other direction, working your ass off, never having no fun. I think there's a happy medium. And there's a lot of places you could scale way the fuck back and start tossing more money in. This is also in part why I recommend this. I did on a macro level. I said, look, if you go and you're 18 years old, you graduate from high school, and you decide not to go to college, you say, Mom, Dad, please let me stay here and crash with you rent-free. I'm going to work 2 full-time jobs and save the money. By the time you are 22, you're going to have north of $150,000 if you invest in S&P and it performs as it was, blah, 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 blah. Now, I did that just with a 4-year horizon from 18 to 22. So all your dipshit friends are graduating with their masters in childhood journalism, poetry, history, English degree. And they got $70,000 of debt. You were banging away, saving all your cash, and you're sitting on $175,000. You're the one person who ain't going to be, I can't afford a home. It's like, that's because you majored in stupid shit. And they're going to make fun of you, right? Your family, everyone. Oh, my God, he didn't go to college. Is he missing a chromosome? Is he special needs? Did you drop him on his head? I don't know. I failed. I've had this happen a couple times. Because I'm old and Asshole Consulting's been around for 10 and a half years. Where the kid did what I said. Yeah, just bust your ass off. He's like, yeah, everyone gave me shit. And my dad sort of, and then my dad is wondering how I did. Like 4 or 5 years later, dad's asking his son for a loan. That's just 4 years. That's just a cost benefit analysis of like, why would you go to college when you work 2 full-time jobs and kind of more or less have your retirement bought and paid for? Because if you got $175,000 and you toss it into a diversified portfolio at the age of 22, you are fucking set for retirement. You don't worry about that no more. Unless you were dumb enough to get married and have kids and get divorced, then you're fucked. But yeah, assuming you're not stupid enough to get married and risk divorce and having half your shit taken, assuming you know to live in a non-common law marriage state, you're set. When I just do it on a per hour basis, holy shit, $478 an hour. And I want to get that number. I had it down to 430. Maybe I calculate a little bit younger, maybe a couple fewer years. But it's north of 400, guys. And when you're a young man, now here's the thing. You can't say, I'm worth $400 an hour. No employer is going to do that. But then you have to work the money and go put it in the S&P 500. You can't spend it. You can't buy some dick extender, Hellcat, all right? You can't buy no cars. I know we make a lot of fun of the girls here for majoring in the world's most stupid shit. You guys buy the world's dumbest vehicles. You just need transportation. You don't need vanity. You don't need status. But and it's boring, guys. It's boring. I did it. I mean, I did it in different ways. People were always going out nightclub and having a good old time. I went out nightclub and having a good old time too, not as much as them. I still went nightclubbing too much. I still asked out well. I took way too many girls on dates. I should not have. That's a true statement. And the money and the proceeds that I just tossed in the S&P 500, I'd be way ahead on my financial planning now. Way ahead. And I'm telling it for you because you're young men, young ladies too. The world is not going to give you opportunities. They're just not. And whereas it may seem down and out, if you could keep your rent low, live at home, you got the opportunity to work a side job and just toss a couple bucks into the S&P 500. And for the love of God, don't waste your time like me and previous generations of guys did beforehand. Ladies, you go out all you want. I mean, you get free shit and drinks and worship and all that. I mean, it's you have that makes sense. All right. But for you guys, work the extra shift, work security, do Uber, do something. Right? 18 to 22. Squirrel away your money, toss it away. Or not toss it away, invest it, toss it into a diversified fund. Right? I could even probably give advice because if you're just going to go gamble it away or drink it away or not work it up in the first place, then there's zero cost. I can probably say, well, if you were to toss it in the S&P 500, that's better than you not making the money at all. So when you got a choice, right? Usually this is, I got some free time now. What should I do with it? And you got a choice. Hey, the guys are going to go to the nightclub and we're going to get bottle service and piss away a lot of money, have a bunch of insufferably arrogant people to hang out with and probably maybe try to get their numbers. Or I just work another shift, take my $15 an hour, toss it in the S&P 500. When I'm 65, there's $3,800 in purchasing power today, not inflated dollars. That's the actual amount of purchasing power you got. You do that for a couple of years, especially early on. You go out. You got a house party. House parties are better than nightclubs. I'm just going to tell you. Your buddy's going to go fish. All right, I'll go fishing. But then once a week, you work a shift. At nighttime, you bartend. Take that money, toss it in the S&P 500. You'll still get your fun. Maybe you're not having as much fun anyway. I'll tell you right now, guys. 90, what would you guys estimate? 93, 94% of the time, you go into whatever, a nightclub, a bar, or whatever to get the girls, because I know that's what motivate you young guys. You're just not going to get, you're just not. I mean, if you really want to be mercenary about it, just pay for it, okay? It's cheaper and faster. But you think, oh, I'll get it. No, man, just ask a cute girl out. See a cute girl, ask her out. That doesn't cost nothing. In your regular day-to-day, you don't need to be going to clubs. You don't need to go to bars. You don't need to go to house parties. The house parties can be fun. Have your friends, have your social life, all that other stuff. But, man, if you could just cut half the amount of time you're going to piss away chasing girls and just go work, even fast food, and take the money, throw the S&P 500, dude, you're paying yourself about $470 an hour. Ladies, same thing. You don't, I mean, if your girls are going to listen, honest to God, do you want a handbag or do you want retirement? Which one do you want? You want to be living in poverty? Look, when you're 65, you can't pull no tricks at the truck stop, all right? There's no market for it by that time. So which one do you want, ladies? Your handbag? You travel. Go travel. Just travel half the amount. So there you go. That's how young people, not just young men, young people should value their time. That's about right. $470 an hour. Now, link below. That's just a real look. If every young person today did that, right? Let's say you're a young person today. You all decide to work an extra shift. Toss the extra money in the S&P 500. And you didn't get pregnant with kids you couldn't afford. You didn't commit crime. You didn't get married. Let's say you avoided all the life-destroying landmines that ruin people's otherwise good finances, right? You all tossed it in there. You should be fine, right? As long as you don't spend more than you make, you don't need anything else. You don't. You'll be perfectly fine. But if you needed more guidance, normally how to avoid financial mistakes, I have some resources linked below because it's predominantly what I do. Link below is Bachelor Pad Economics. the Financial Advice Bible for Men that goes through all the major and minor financial decisions you're going to make from 14 to death. Ladies, I know it says Bachelor Pad Economics. You may get it too, but I know you want to hear about Frufi Lurie and how she fell in love with multi-billionaire, borderline raisinist Christian Grey smut book. Okay. But if you were bored and want to actually shore up your finances, you too can read Bachelor Pad Economics, because it doesn't matter if you're male or female. All of economics and finance is the same. Shh. I remember that in the old, investing for women. What do you mean investing for women? What, they get a different rate of return? Oh, you're a woman. Well, you get 3.2%. Well, the hell are you talking about? Also linked below is Achieving Financial Excellence. If you are like, but girls, but sports car, bro, your brain has been infected with a consumerist value system, a popularity value system. And you will enslave yourself to the corporation. Get fancy car, bro, because then touch, get peened. No. Peen not going to get touched anyway. And so if you have a trouble with, like, you really want that car, you really want to go to the nightclubs, but then you keep going, you don't realize it's not fun, or it's not fun, but you've been conditioned to want to consume things that you don't want. Stop being a slave, because that's what you're doing, is you're becoming a slave, and go take Achieving Financial Excellence. The short version is, what was it? Someone posted the thing on my Twitter. There's 2 ways to get rich: by making more wealth or needing less. And this goes the most, I'd say, direct path to needing less. So there's that. Then there is, we had Bachelor Pad Economics, Achieving Financial. Oh, the Book of Numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. Similar to you boys thinking like, I need to get the car, bro. Your genetics are saying, yeah, I want the women. Where the women at? And I don't disagree with you, because that's hardwired. As much as you girls find that detestable, that men find you physically attractive with the male gaze, and they only want one thing. You're goddamn right we do. Be nice if you cook too. Oprah's over there. Go talk to her. She has a special. She'll tell you everything you want to hear. It's just going to cost you your life. Where was it going with? Oh, yeah, the Book of Numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. Guys, you are wasting so much time chasing girls, so much time. And so this book goes through to show you how much reciprocal interest they have in you, which is very low. It shows you what % chance of you finding a highly qualified marriageable woman is, which is low. It also, in fair honesty, criticizes you men, showing you this is what you guys look like. I know. But Aaron, the women said they wanted soy boy pussy Democrat males. I know that's what they said, but look at who they're fucking. Okay? Just want to point it out. I don't care what they you guys need to hit the gym, and you need to lose weight, and you are not delivering what women want. That is true. That is very true. And so that book goes, basically what that book is, it's kind of like, just as the Achieving Financial Excellence gets rid of your desire to want to have the fancy car or the fancy house or whatever, this doesn't get rid of your desire to have women, but it educates you on what your chances are of going out, whatever, that evening, that week, and having success, and therefore focusing on the variables and traits that you do have under your control, that will drastically increase your chance. There's no guarantee. And by the way, I'm not giving away the book. Is like, work out and ask out a lot of girls. There, I told you. But it does show you and measure your expectations in line with reality, so you're not vainly going out wasting your time chasing girls that frankly don't have any interest in you. So you can take that time instead and go make some money and have it. Look, you could go to the nightclub and not get the girls and have no retirement. Or you can not go to the nightclub, still not get the girls, but have a retirement. But how do I get the girls? Not the nightclub. Ask the girl out. There, I gave you another little short thing for free. There's obviously a little more to it than that. It really is, guys. If you figure this out, man, if you figure this out, yeah, I'm not saying you're going to be rich. I can't guarantee that. But goddamn, man, you're not going to be poor. You will not be poor. I mean, unless you get hit by a truck or something really statistically bad happens to you. I mean, yeah, you could be poor. I'm just saying these resources I'm providing you, the books and the courses, it's definitely worth way more than what you paid for your college education. And it's a lot cheaper. And then finally, the dad you never had, where there's more advice. Most of you grew up without a father. You say, no, my dad was in the house. Yeah, I know he was in the house, but did he teach you how to do taxes? Of course he didn't. Of course. Did he sit you down and tell you to go major in engineering and go over starting salaries for different degrees? And no, he didn't. Did he teach you how to fix a car? No, he didn't. But most of the dads in America are modern day Democrat men, worthless. Well, I don't know how to do it. Whatever, sweetheart. Oh, I know how to move a mouse and click a spreadsheet, which in all honesty is pretty much all I did my entire banking career. I don't know how to fix shit. I don't know how to, I don't know, do any kind of home maintenance, repair. Not that this is if you want to learn maintenance and repair, go to Dumbass Contractor, Scott Wilson. You can find him on YouTube. But your dad did not spend any time preparing for you for the real world. Asshole consulting wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist if dads did their jobs. Dad's just too busy working and doing shit and coming, oh my God. What should I do, wife? I can't imagine why all the boys are pussies nowadays. Anyway, so there's that. The dad you never had. It's also for women too, ladies. There's a female. I split it because men and women are different. So there you are. And I'm not kidding. If you don't have to consume them all, read them all. But if you were to look, Bachelor Pad Economics alone, if you read that and do what's in the book, now you don't read it all the way through. You consult based on where you are in life. You look up the chapter that pertains to where you are. If you do what's there, you're going to be fine. But I don't like math. Well, you better like truck stops then. Crying out loud. Let's go to the super chats. Kevin Larson, Tree Fitty. What's the Mexican restaurant in St. George called? Alvaro's. It's kind of on the, St. George is expanded. It's more or less in the middle. You take your main exit. I forget the name of it. It's south of their mall. It's on the east side of Interstate 15. Alvaro's. I think they're 24/7 still. That's the best Mexican restaurant in the nation. Undefeated. WisDivision Productions, $5. Everyone's still making fun of my minimalism choices. Yeah, you're right. You're not doing the thing everybody else. See how it's just fucking middle school wisdom? And you ain't no kid no more, right? You're a full-grown adult. You've been like in your mid-20s, I estimate, maybe late 20s. And everyone still makes, oh, come on, Cappy. Dude, I'm not kidding. Up until like late 20s, you're like, geez, Cappy, why do you have two shitty cars where you can just get one nice new one? It's like, because if that nice new one breaks down, then I don't have a shitty car to back me up. They never get it, Wisdom. They'll never get it because you're not doing popular thing, which I can understand a little bit with. Humans are herd-like animals, and there is safety in numbers, and it's why you want to kind of you don't want to step out of line too much because you don't want to upset, get along to get along. But if you want to, look, you can't. Here's the problem with normies. Listen to me, normies, okay? I know you're not going to make any different decisions because you're normies, right? You do know when you make the same decisions all the other normies are making, you're going to have normal results. But everyone wants to be rich, right? You normies want to be rich, but you won't make non-normie decisions. You won't make non-normie choices. And then when someone does, instead of saying, well, look at that guy. He's working extra. I remember this happened. I was at Filio's. I was putting together, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't doing that night when I was 24. I bought my laptop, which were relatively new at that time. I was working on putting together my financial planning course that I offered through a company called Ed2Go, which I think may even still be around now. And everyone was like, come on, Cappy, relax. Why'd you bring your laptop? I got to get this done. And these people are friends. I'm still friends with many of them today, but they all gave me guff. Oh, come on. And now, you're right. Must be nice. Like, yeah, it is. It is. Do you remember that time I was at Filio's with my laptop and you all gave me shit? That is directly linked to the latest picture of me on that new hike I found doing this with the mountain lion in the back. There isn't a mountain lion in the back. Look, you cannot make popular decisions and be successful. You cannot make normie decisions and have abnormal results. You must make abnormal decisions in the right direction. You can't make shit decisions. And then they don't get it, man. And then when you do it, they're just like, some of them are like, well, come on, whatever. They're not upset about it. Then some people are like, what are you doing, you fucking nerd? You nerd. You're not wearing the right shoes. I love to see those fuckers now. Everyone's still making fun of my minimalism choices. Meanwhile, stacking $50K a year and maxing out retirement accounts. Listen to Cappy, big dick player. Swinging down past your knees. A G5 airplane and lots of money. Universal coordinate, 31 generous Australian dollars. Cappy, in Australia, you don't need to be married for a woman to take half your shit. There's a de facto law where they can take it away. Anyway, it's crazy out here. It happened to me 7 years ago. I think I heard it's like if you're just dating. See, and now I'm not familiar with Australian law in terms of asset protection, but can you just have a trust? Or would the Australian government just say, no, we're taking that anyway. We don't care. It's a trust. Like the veil of corporatism. Look, at the end of the day, I don't think it's conscious. I think it's unconscious. But people are just like, oh my God, there's a woman in need. Take his shit. It's slavery. It's a very well masked under potpourri of laws and interpretations and a judicial system. But at the end of the day, you're just making men slaves. And maybe men don't have to understand it. All they know is like, how much did dad have to pay? Oh, fuck that. Look, you want to make men a slave class because of their sex drive. That's basically what it is. Fine, go ahead. And as you're finding them out, they're like, yeah, you know what? There's Nebraska. And I can rub one out to that, and it's a lot less risky. Mark Magana, $2, won a $138,000 settlement. Cybertruck or Lambo. Mark, I know your age. Come on, man. Just toss it to the S&P 500 and be done. Be fucking done with your retirement. Wouldn't that be a nice thing to be done with? Like, I just dropped that all in the S&P 500. Maybe diversify a little bit of silver or crypto or something, Just spread it out even a little bit more. Then be done. People are like, oh, do you worry about retirement? Nope, I'm good. I'm good, playa. You know what? That would make a great book. I couldn't use it. But the Les Grossman retirement plan book. Retirement Planning by Les Grossman. That'd be awesome. BB11, 5 British pounds. What do you think about buying gold and silver as a hedge against inflation? That's in Bachelor Pad Economics. But generally, it is one of several mandatory things you should invest against for inflation. Now, you're in Britain, so I don't know how the FTSE does it. See, because your S&P 500 is the FTSE. Financial Times Stock Exchange, is that it? So I haven't seen research on that, but I have looked historically what have been historically the best hedges against inflation. And here in the United States, S&P 500 is the best hedge out of your major asset classes. There are literal things like inflation-adjusted bonds. The British government might offer those. I don't know if they do. So that would obviously be the number one thing to go with. But silver and gold, technically over long periods of time, yes. Now, the problem with silver and gold is that as time has gone on, their primary use have gone from a currency back in the olden days. You see how I did, and not oldie, because you're British with your programmies. in ye olde timies with the programmies. The main thing was currency. Well, then, with industry going on, precious metals are not now solely driven by supply and demand for currency. It's driven by supply and demand for materials and metals that go for the, industrial uses of gold and silver. So there's a little bit more variables going into that. I have had very good luck with silver. I haven't bought gold because it's too pricey. But generally speaking, silver has maintained its value as well. Yes. Yes. But again, it's in bachelor pad economics. The number one thing, if you want to hedge against inflation, is skills. Make sure you got good skills. Like dentists don't worry about inflation. That's right. You guys don't even know what dentists are in Britain. Okay, that's an old joke. It's an old joke. It's funny. I know you guys discovered dentistry in 1997, and things are different now. The Ranch Dude, $2. He says, hello. The Ranch Dude again for $5. Mr. Clary, do you think that pretty young women are actually more privileged than white men? Yes. Yes. And white men aren't privileged. Not here. Not anymore. You have laws that actively discriminate against them. If you went back maybe in the 70s or 80s, there was the old boy network, but it wasn't necessarily because they were white men. It's just because whites were the majority of the population and they're old time guys and they're in charge. So yeah, like when I go to Japan, I'm going to imagine old Japanese dudes probably run the joint a little bit. But no, there's no privilege, none whatsoever. That's a made up Marxist thing for lazy people who don't want to work. That's it. But pretty young women in general, yeah, those are probably the most privileged people on the face of the planet, historically speaking. That's it. All right, link to all the good stuff down below. Remember, $470 each hour, guys. That date, 3 hours, that's almost $1,500 right there. Think about it. See you guys later. Toodles.